comes a time where the Lord takes us from that sheep mentality to that lion mentality. When we come into this truth, we're to be like sheep. We'd always be like sheep, but there comes a point where we have to take on that lion-like nature, where nobody messes with us and nobody takes this truth for a joke.
I'm with it. Nations want war, let's get it. No, I ain't doing no tripping, still standing on business. As it was written in the scriptures, who ruled the world from beginning? Tell you how it's ending. Jay, wake up, stop sinning. Call all things to remembrance. Shares keep visiting. We'll break off on a citizen till all the heathen is finished. Go let us pray. Shot clock, no penalties. Wait for the day of our enemies. Who and I let who pretend to be secretly.
Hey, shalom, shalom. Most High in Christ bless. I'm Officer Azariah with IUIC Minneapolis, and we're here today to do another classroom video. The title of the class is Beware of the Self-Willed Spirit. All right, that spirit jumps on us throughout our walk. All right, and you always got to be on top of it. You got to make sure that you're not moving in a self-willed spirit. All right, don't be that brother that says, I don't move in a self-willed spirit. Then all of a sudden you doing your own thing. So let's start off in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5. Examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own self, how that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobate. So
we always, it's important for us that we always self-examine, all right? Self-examine, what did I do in this situation? Was I moving in a self-willed spirit? Just because you may think that you don't move self-willed, after you take that inventory of your actions, then you'll be better able to see, hey, am I aligned with what the scripture states? Am I aligned with my leadership? Am I aligned with what the orders are? Or did I go off and do what I thought was best? All right? We cannot move in that self-willed spirit. And it first starts with us examining ourselves. All right? From there, let's get Sirach chapter 37 and verse 16. Let's dive in a little bit more. Read that.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 37 and verse 16. Let reason go before every enterprise, and counsel before every action.
So we got to counsel before every action, all right? Counsel, seek counsel from your leadership, whether that be the officers above you, the captains above you, so on and so forth. Don't just move off of your own will because you think it's a good idea. Nah, hey, the question's going to be, who'd you seek counsel from? Who'd you get sign off from to do this action? All right. Even in the various offices that we're in, we got to make sure that we're running things up the chain. All right. So that way we don't move in a self-willed spirit. So when that question comes, hey, who'd you counsel with? You can say, I counsel with this officer, so on and so forth. This was the order that I got back. And that's what I executed. So that's the way that we got to move. We got to move without being self-willed. Because a lot of times what happens? We begin to lean on our own understanding. We begin to get hasty. We begin to move fast. I got to make this decision now. Right. And then what? We begin to do our own thing. Let's get that. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. Let's read that. We cannot begin to get hasty. We can't get hasty. Read that.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 5.
Let's go. Come on.
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding.
So the Bible says, trust in the Lord with all your mind, and lean not unto your own understanding. That be the problem. We always want to, I think. No, what does God say? God says counsel before every action. You understand? God says obey them that have the rule over you. That's what the Lord says. We can't do, I thought it was a good idea, so that's what I did. No, we have to trust in the Lord with all of our mind. Continue reading.
In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths.
When you acknowledge the Lord, you acknowledge the leadership. All right? When you acknowledge the Lord, you acknowledge the leadership, those that are set above you, because who set them above you? The Lord set them above you.
Bring it out.
Come on. That's what we got to understand. We got to get out of this. Oh, I got to answer to God. No, God set the leaders over us to help guide us in this truth, guide us in this walk, right? Just because you may have done this in the world, that don't mean it's right for you to do in this truth, all right? This organization is more than you. That's what we got to understand. It's not about you. It's about the people first, all right? Continue reading.
Verse 7.
Come on.
Be not wise in thine own eyes.
Be not wise in your own eyes. Read.
Fear the Lord.
Fear the Lord first.
And depart from evil.
And depart from evil, because your own mind is evil. It's wicked. It's wicked. Let's get that. Jeremiah chapter 17. Let's get that in Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4 or verse 9. Our minds are wicked, desperately wicked. We're going to try to do what we think is best, but there's safety in counsel. Read that.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 9.
Come on.
The heart is deceitful above all things.
Your mind is deceitful. Deceitful. Your mind is going to tell you, that's a good call. You're doing what's right. I mean, you had to make this decision. You had to make this call because it had to be done. Does it really have to be done? Is it life or death? Or can it wait? Sometimes you got to remain patient. All right? Remain patient. Seek that counsel. Hey, sometimes you got to be more prudent to see things coming up and ask for the counsel ahead of time. So when that thing comes to pass, when that decision is right there presented in front of you, you already have gotten the counsel. Now you're not moving in a self-willed spirit. All right? Continue reading.
The heart is deceitful above all things. And desperately wicked.
Come on.
Who can know it?
Who can know it? Our minds are desperately wicked. All right? We cannot get into that state where we're moving in a self-willed spirit. I got to do this. Well, did you seek counsel? No, because, did you seek counsel? Yes or no? No, self-will. That's as simple as it is. Did you seek counsel? Yes or no? If you say yes, okay, who'd you seek counsel from? All right, all praises. You know you didn't seek counsel? Self-will. That is it. So we got to make sure that we're moving with counsel and not doing our own thing. Give me Sirach chapter 19 and verse 4 to talk about when we move hastily. Hastily. Let's get that.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 19 and verse 4.
Come on.
He that is hasty to give credit is light-minded.
So when you are hasty, you appear to be light-minded. You can't move hastily. You cannot move hastily. And a lot of times we bring this up when we talk about proving a friend, because you give credit to somebody. But even in different scenarios and situations, when you move with haste without seeking counsel, you are a light-minded individual, a self-willed individual light. And we cannot be that way. We got to come back. We got to seek counsel. We got to ask our leadership, hey, this is what I was thinking. This is why I was thinking it. Here's the situation, the scenario that's around this, and what do you think? Let me know. Should I go about it this way, or is there a better way to go about it? What's so hard about that is that because we as a people, naturally, our minds are desperately wicked. We got to come up out of that, all right? We got to always follow the orders. Let's get that 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 40. Read that.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 14 and verse 40.
Let's go.
Let all things be done decently and in order.
Let all things be done decently and in order. That's what we gotta make sure that we maintain the order. We gotta maintain order, operate within the order of things. So if there's already an order, some structure set up, that's what we do. We follow that order and structure. Read that again.
Let all things be done decently and in order.
Let all things be done decently. So, that being said, make sure that you give the leadership above you enough time to react to the question that you got. So don't come to them when you knew there was a problem, you ain't come. But now when the ish is hitting the fan, now you want to try to push it up and say, well, I sent the question, I didn't get it back in time, and I had to make the decision. No. Be decent and in order. All right? From there, let's get 1 Peter 5 and 5. Showing we always gotta move in order. All right? Read that.
This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5 and verse 5.
Come on.
Let's go.
Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder.
So this is going into the structure of leadership, why it's important that we follow the order. What did Peter say again?
Likewise, ye younger.
Those of us who are younger, right, who are lower in the totem pole, per se, read.
Submit yourselves unto the elder.
Those that are sitting above, those that are above us in the totem pole, our leadership. We must submit ourselves, submit our ideas. Let them know this is what I'm thinking. And guess what? Your idea could be, hey, that's a great idea. Let's go with it. Or, you know what? Nah, let's go this other way. Because our leaders have years of experience in this truth. Right? They face some challenges that this may be our first time facing. And now they can give us counsel. They can give us guidance so that way what? We can be better. We can learn from their counsel. We can now say, I've got that experience now. Continue reading.
Yea, all of you be subject one to another.
Come on.
And be clothed with humility.
Be clothed in what?
Humility.
Be clothed with humility. That's something that's hard for the black man, the Hispanic man, the Native American man, right, to have humility, to humble down, to say, you know what? Hey, I'm going to go to my leadership. I'm going to make sure that whatever order I'm given is approved by my leadership.
That's right.
Continue reading.
For God resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble.
So God will resist that proud man, that man who is self-willed, who will go off and do his own thing. He don't care. He don't care what has been said, the orders that have been established. Because in that moment, he felt like he had the bright idea. No, God will resist the proud man. All right. But he will give grace unto the humble. All right. That grace is you asking that question. The leadership is going to be able to take in that request, be able to analyze it, and come back with an answer. So that way now you got the right answer. Now you good. Right? Read verse 6.
Verse 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time.
Humble yourself. Make sure that you are humbling yourself under God. Don't think you got to move with that hasty spirit. Oh, I got to make this decision. I got to do this. No. Make sure that you counsel. Make sure that you get proper guidance. Right. And that way, guess what? Your leadership can now begin to trust your actions. Right? They'll begin to be able to trust you. Then you will be exalted. Okay. This brother, this sister is moving with some counsel. She's moving with some wisdom, asking good questions, getting good responses back, and applying those. Not, hey, I got this answer back, but I ain't like it. That's also a spirit of self-willedness. I didn't like the answer I got back, so I just went the other way. Sometimes that answer that we get back, you may not feel like that's the right call in your spirit, but guess what? You got to overcome that. You got to humble your spirit down and say, look, this is what my leadership said. This is what I'm executing, because that's what is bound on. The leader said it, is now bound. It's now a commandment. That's what you need to be doing. Not, well, I got a better idea. I'm going to do this instead. No, that's not what you were told to do. You're moving in a self-willed spirit. All right? From there, let's get Titus chapter 1 and verse 5. There is an order to things. We must follow order because order has been established. We now must follow orders. Read that.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 1 and verse 5. For this cause left I thee in Crete, that thou shouldest set in order the things that are wanting, and ordain elders in every city as I had appointed thee.
Right, so Paul was setting up the various churches, right? And he set Titus in the land of Crete. Why? To establish the order, because things were out of order. This is nothing new. Order is not new. It's just new to the so-called black man that was created in America and Babylon the Great. We always followed orders, right? That's our problem. We want to be self-willed. We want to do our own thing. We want to do what we think is best. But that's not so. That's not how it's supposed to be. All right? As we are repenting, we got to lay aside all the things that we used to do and put on that new mind according to God's word. All right? Because in the black community, in the Hispanic community, in the Latino community, we got no order. Look at all the chaos that's going on within our communities. Brothers getting shot. Brothers getting robbed. You know what I'm saying? Brothers stealing from one another. Brothers committing adultery. Bring it out. Committing fornication. All this stuff is out of order. But guess what? In the black community, that's another day in the neighborhood. We're coming out of that spirit, so we got to start dropping those things that we did in the past, all right? And start learning and applying God's commandments and being in order, all right? Let me pull up the definition for self-willed.
Merriam-Webster Dictionary, self-willed. Stubborn or willful adherence to one's own desires.
One's who?
Own desires.
One's own desires. Or what?
Or ideas.
Or what?
Or ideas.
Or ideas.
Obstinacy.
We gonna leave that right there. All right? Self-willed is when you have your own idea. You are stubborn. I got this idea. I'm going to it. That's my own desire. My own idea. Guess what? And you know what? I can do it like this. Let me just go off and do it like this. No, we can't do that.
The hell is this?
We got to come back and apply the laws of God. He tells us to move in order.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We got to move in order. Let's get 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 10. We must move in order. We got to drop that spirit, y'all. And again, like I said, you can be listening to this class right now and say, you know what? I don't deal with self-willedness. But next week, tomorrow, guess what? That challenge is going to come your way. That test is going to come your way. Did you seek counsel before you made this move? Because being self-willed is so easy to do. Because why? Here in Babylon the Great, we grew up not getting counsel. We grew up not asking for advice, right? We just did what we felt is pleased. We did whatever we felt was pleasing unto us. Let me say it like that. All right?
You got the devil on you.
Right. That's the devil. But now when we come back into this truth, we got to reform our minds. We got to reform our minds. The things that we used to do, we can't do those things no more. We got to move in a new spirit. Read that.
This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 2 and verse 10.
Come on.
But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanness and despise government.
You despise government. That's one of the roots of self-will, being self-willed, is that you despise the leadership. You feel like I shouldn't have to go ask. Why I gotta ask that man right there? And you don't even say, why I gotta ask that nigga? You know what I'm saying? You despise government. You feel like, why I gotta ask permission for that? I could just go ahead and do. No, stay in order. Don't despise the government that the Most High God has set up. Read on.
Presumptuous are they, self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignities.
So when you get that chastisement, now you speaking evil against those that were set up above you to guide you. So that way you can be a better leader to those that are underneath you. That's it. When you seek that counsel, you're becoming a better leader. All right? And let's say you do seek the counsel and leadership says, go with that idea. All praises, you in the same mind as your leadership. But a lot of us, we don't want that. We don't want that. Let's see what that's going to lead to. Let's get Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 21. A lot of us think, I already know it. I already have done this thing. I've done this 20 million times. Why I need to go and ask? Well, we're going to see what happens. Read that.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 5 and verse 21.
Let's go.
Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes.
It says destruction to them that are wise in their own eyes. Read.
And prudent in their own sight.
And prudent in your own sight. So you moving off of what you see. It says destruction unto you. Destruction unto you. This is why we must always examine our spirits. We got to examine ourselves so that way we don't move in a self-willed spirit. We got to ask ourselves that question. Hey, did I check? Did I make sure? Did I get this approved? Did I get this signed off? If the answer is no, you got to take a step back. Hey, let me make sure I go. Hey, officer. Hey, Cap, is this right? Is this good? You know what I'm saying? We got to make sure that we're doing these things from the least of our offices to the greatest of our offices. We got to make sure that we're always seeking counsel, seeking that advice, so that way we can make sure, we can ensure that we're not moving in a self-willed spirit. All right? From there, let's get the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30 and verse 8. All right?
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 8. A horse not broken becometh headstrong, and a child left to himself will be willful.
So we go to this a lot to talk about disciplining our children, admonishing them and raising them up in this truth, that they must be broken down first. That even applies to ourselves, all right, as so-called adults in this truth. Yeah, you may come in, you may be in your 40s, 50s, 60s, but you still got to be humbled down. You still got to make sure that you're seeking counsel, all right? We got to make sure that we stay in our lane. We got to make sure that we are applying the counsel from our leaders. Because if we are not doing this, we then become headstrong. And it starts off with just a little action that we've done without counsel. And it begins to continue to multiply and multiply and multiply as what? The snowball rolling down the hill. You know what I'm saying? By the time it gets down, it's a formidable issue. And it has to be dealt with. And it has to be dealt with. So we got to make sure that we don't become that willful child, all right, that does their own thing, who's self-willed, all right? So from there, let's get Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 15. We're going to go back and see from our forefathers what we did. Let's see.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 15.
Come on.
So I took of the chief of your tribes, wise men.
What?
Wise men.
Wise men. Read on.
And known, and made them heads over you.
Come on.
Captains over thousands.
Come on.
And captains over hundreds. And captains over 50s. And captains over 10s. And officers among your tribes.
Sounds like a order has been established. You got captains, you got officers.
Right.
All right, of the various ranks. And what did Moses charge them with? Let's see.
And I charge your judges at that time, saying, hear the causes between your brethren, and judge righteously between every man and his brother, and the stranger that is with him.
Right, so this is going into how we judge, but guess what? This is also order and structure that's been set up from the time of Moses, and we're bringing it back to this day. You know what I'm saying? We bringing order and structure back to the so-called black man, the so-called Latino man, the so-called Native American man. We're bringing back structure and order because we lost that. We lost the thought that there was men over us. We lost the idea that there are people that we have to converse with before we make moves.
Right.
We've been indoctrinated by Babylon the Great, America, that says, you don't got to ask them nothing. You your own man. You a grown man. Why you got to go and ask them? No. This has always been the structure. This has always been God's will, that we have order and structure so we don't move with our own self-interest. Move and being self-willed. All right? So let's go back. Let's take a look at some of our forefathers, right? Because let's get real quick. Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. I should have started off the class with this scripture, but hey, we're going to hit it now. We're going to hit it now. Romans chapter 15 and verse 4.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Come on.
That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope.
So the things that were written aforetime is talking about this Bible. The things that are written in this Bible are meant for our learning. Meant for us to have patience and to comfort us, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at our forefathers and see how our forefathers who moved in a self-willed spirit, what happened to them at the end. So that way we can always have that on our minds as we go through our walk in today's time. All right. So let's get 2 Samuel chapter 3 and verse 6. Read that.
This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 3 and verse 6.
Come on.
And it came to pass, while there was war between the house of Saul and the house of David, that Abner made himself strong for the house of Saul.
So now we're going to take a look at one of our forefathers Abner. Let's see what type of spirit Abner rolled in. Jump down to verse 12.
Verse 12. And Abner sent messengers to David on his behalf, saying, Who is the land? Saying also, Make thy league with me, and behold, my hand shall be with thee, to bring about all Israel unto thee.
Come on.
And he said, Well, I will make a league with thee, but one thing I require of thee, that is, thou shalt not see my face, except thou first bring Micaiah, Saul's daughter, when thou comest to see my face.
So David and Abner were in the midst of this battle, right? Because it was getting ready to transition of power from Saul onto David, right? And so David said to Abner, look, we can make peace, but first you got to send my wife back to me. All right? You got to send my wife back to me. So from there, let's jump to verse 20.
Verse 20. So Abner came to David to Hebron, and 20 men with him. And David made Abner and the men that were with him a feast.
So they starting to make relations, right? Getting back on good terms. So he made a feast. David made Abner and his men a feast, right? Read on.
And Abner said unto David, I will arise and go, and will gather all Israel unto my lord the king, that they may make a league with thee, and that thou mayest reign over all that thine heart desireth. And David sent Abner away, and he went in peace.
So though the two men, King David and Abner, were now in peace, right? Smooth transition. Now let's see what happens next. Read on, verse 22.
And behold, the servants of David and Joab came from pursuing a troop, and brought in a great spoil with them. But Abner was not with David in Hebron, for he had sent him away, and he was gone in peace. When Joab and all the host that was with him were come, they told Joab, saying, Abner, the son of Ner, came to the king, and he have sent him away, and he has gone in peace. Then Joab came to the king and said, What hast thou done? Behold, Abner came unto thee. Why is it that thou hast sent him away, and he is quiet gone?
Right, so now Joab feels some kind of way. Remember, Joab was one of David's mighty men, right? Joab was under David, right? But now Joab has a problem. He's like, man, what's going on? David? He's questioning David. Guess what? Look, what we read back in 2 Peter, right? That they would despise government, not want to follow the order, right? It's playing out. It's playing out. Continue reading back in 2 Samuel.
This is the book of 2 Samuel chapter 3 and verse 25. Thou knowest Abner, the son of Ner, that he came to deceive thee, and to know thy going out and thy coming in, and to know all that thou doest. And when Joab was come out from David, he sent messengers after Abner, which brought him again from the well of Sarah, but David knew it not.
So Joab then leaves David, and now he's sending messengers unto Abner without David even knowing. So guess what? Joab is starting to move in that self-willed spirit, doing his own thing. David never told him that he needed to go and speak with Abner. But let's continue reading. Read on.
Verse 27. And when Abner was returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside in the gate to speak with him quietly, and smote him there under the fifth rib, that he died, for the blood of Asahel, his brother.
So Joab, now you see the issue, right? Why Joab really had an issue with Abner. He couldn't forgive him for the things that he had done in the past, right? So Joab was moving in that self-willed spirit for his own desire to get back at Abner, and he killed him without the knowledge of David. And David was trying to make peace, right? But you have that servant who's self-willed, who is going to do his own thing, moving on his own desire with his own ideas. Continue reading.
Verse 28, and afterwards, when David heard it, he said, I and my kingdom are guiltless before the Lord forever from the blood of Abner, the son of Ner.
David didn't have any idea that was happening. David said, I'm blameless on this. Hey, Joab, that's on you. That blood is on your hands. Continue reading.
Let it rest on the head of Joab and on all his father's house, and let there not fail from the house of Joab one that has an issue, or that is a leper, or that leaneth on a staff, or that falleth on the sword, or that lacketh bread. So Joab and Abishai, his brother, slew Abner, because he had slain their brother Asahel at Gibeon in the battle.
So that's what happens when you move in a self-willed spirit. It can lead to murder. Now you murdering somebody for your get back. All right? You're not applying the laws. The Lord said, don't go tick for tat. Actually, let's I'm butchering the scripture. Let's get that in Romans. You know what I'm saying? Romans chapter 12. I just butchered it, but we're going to read it as it is written. Romans chapter 12. You got it? And verse
17.
Yes. Romans 12:17.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 12 and verse 17.
Come on.
Recompense to no man evil for evil.
Come on.
Provide things honest in the sight of all men.
So we're not supposed to recompense evil for evil, railing for railing. We ain't supposed to be doing that. All right? The Lord has our back. The Lord knows. Leave that vengeance for the Lord. All right? We got to make sure that we apply these scriptures. All right? So let's jump back. Let's jump to 2 Samuel chapter 18. We're going to read verse 1 and 2. All right? Because that's not the only time our forefather Joab moved in a self-willed spirit. We're going to see. Read that.
This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 18, and verse 1. And David numbered the people that was with him, and set captains of thousands and captains of hundreds over them. And David sent forth a third part of the people under the hand of Joab, and a third part of the people under the hand of Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, Joab's brother, and a third part under the hand of
Ittai,
the Gittite. And the king said unto the people, I will surely go forth with you myself also.
So David set up the army. He set the army up, the three various armies, and he set leaders over those armies. One was Joab, one was Abishai, and one was Ittai, right? Jump to verse 5.
Verse 5, and the king commanded Joab and Abishai and Ittai, saying, deal gently for my sake with the young men, even with Absalom. And all the people heard when the king gave all the captains charge concerning Absalom.
So David was commanding the men, look, hey, deal gently with even Absalom, right? Even though Absalom committed wickedness and sinned against the Lord first and foremost and embarrassed his father David, David said, hey, still deal gently with him, right? And everybody heard it. Everybody knew that's what David wanted of his captains of his army. Read on.
So the people went out into the field against Israel, and the battle was in the wood of Ephraim, where the people of Israel were slain before the servants of David. And there was there a great slaughter that day of 20,000 men. For the battle was there scattered over the face of all the country, and the wood devoured more people that day than the sword devoured.
Come on.
And Absalom met the servants of David. And Absalom rode upon a mule. And the mule went under the thick boughs of a great oak. And his head caught hold of the oak. And he was taken up between the heaven and the earth. And a mule that was under him went away.
So Absalom met the servants of David, and he was fleeing away, right? And he struck his head between the oak tree. So he was hanging up there, right? So you got to imagine you are fleeing for your life because your men just got put to flight, right? And now you done hit the oak tree and you're hanging. Continue reading. Verse 10.
Verse 10. And a certain man saw it and told Joab and said, Behold, I saw Absalom hanged in an oak.
So a certain man saw that Absalom was hanging in that oak tree, and he went and told Joab, our forefather, who in the past has been self-willed. We know before going into this battle, he was told to do something specific, to be gentle with Absalom. But let's see how our forefather Joab dealt. Continue reading.
Verse 11. And Joab said unto the man that told him, And behold, thou sawest him, and why didst thou not smite him there to the ground?
So Joab asked the man, Hey, you saw him. Why didn't you smite him? Why didn't you kill him? Listen to what the brother said. Read.
And I would have given thee 10 shekels of silver in a girdle.
Joab was saying, look, man, I would have paid you for him. I would have paid you to kill him. But what did David tell everybody? To be gentle. Everybody heard it. So guess what the man said to Joab? Read verse 12.
Verse 12. And the man said unto Joab, Though I should receive 1,000 shekels of silver in mine hand, yet would I not put forth mine hand against the king's son. For in our hearing the king charged thee and Abishai and Ittai, saying, Beware that none touch the young man Absalom.
So this man had enough sense to say, look, Joab, captain over the army, you know what King David said. He said, don't touch him. So I don't care about the riches that you could have provided unto me. This brother was not moving in a self-willed spirit. But we can see that self-willed spirit is popping back up in our forefather Joab. He said, man, if you would have just killed him, I would have gave you some money. Let's read verse 13. Let's see how Joab rolled.
Verse 13. Otherwise I should have wrought falsehood against mine own life. For there is no matter hid from the king, and thou thyself would have had set thyself against me.
So he already knew, look, if I would have did this, you would have turned your back on me. You would have said, I did it with my own will. You wouldn't have backed me up. You would have threw me under the bus. You would have came forth and said, I told him to do that. You would be deceitful. You would have lied, right? You wouldn't be forthcoming. So no, I'm not doing it. Read verse 14.
Verse 14. Then said Joab, I may not tarry thus with thee. And he took 3 darts in his hand and thrust them through the heart of Absalom while he was yet alive in the midst of the oak.
So although the warning was given to Joab, that self-willed spirit overcame Joab once again. And this is us in this truth, right? Brothers can receive counsel, sisters can receive counsel about ways that you should move, but that self-willed spirit overtakes everything that has been told to you because you got the bright idea. You're going to move on your own desire, right? You think that what you are doing is best for the nation, but you ain't consider what was given to you, what you were instructed to do, what you were told to do. You just moved and did your own thing. So let's see what happens to our forefather Joab. So this is another scenario where Joab, once again, is moving and with a self-willed spirit. Let's jump to 1 Kings chapter 2 and verse 29.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 2 and verse 29.
Let's go.
And it was told King Solomon that Joab was fled unto the tabernacle of the Lord. And behold, he is by the altar. Then Solomon sent Benaiah, the son of Joadiah, saying, Go, fall upon him.
Come on.
And Benaiah came to the tabernacle of the Lord, and he said unto him, Thus says the king, Come forth. And he said, Nigh, but I will die here.
So even in that, Joab running for his life, but look, he was told, come forward. Joab said, nah, I'm gonna die here, man. He still got that self-willed spirit, even to the end. Read on.
And he said, Nigh, but I will die here. And Benaiah brought the king word again, saying, Thus says Joab, and thus he answered me.
So Benaiah went back and reported to King Solomon. This is what's going on, King. This is what Joab said, King Solomon. Continue reading.
Verse 31. And the king said unto him, Do as he has said, and fall upon him, and bury him, that thou mayest take away the innocent blood which Joab shed from me and from the house of my father.
So, hey, you want it? That's what you want to die here? We're going to grant you your wish. You're going to die right there because of the innocent blood that you shed. You see that? The innocent blood that Joab has done over his time, right? We read that in the book of Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 21. It says, Woe unto him that moves in that self-willed spirit, death and destruction. This is an example of this thing coming to pass. Because you didn't want to do the will of your leadership, you wanted to do your own thing, death is coming unto you. Read verse 32.
Verse 32. And the Lord shall return his blood upon his own head, who fell upon 2 men more righteous and better than he. And he slew them with the sword. And my father David, not knowing thereof, to wit, Abner, the son of Ner, captain of the host of Israel, and Amasa, the son of Jether, captain of the host of Judah.
So we didn't even read the story where Joab slew Amasai, right? So it goes to show you this was Joab's nature. He had a self-willed nature where he was going to do his own thing without the knowledge of the king, without the knowledge of his leadership. He was just going to go and slaughter people. He didn't care. He was doing his own thing under the banner, under the guise of, I'm doing this for the people. This is right. Because of this brother did this brother did that, so now this is what I got to do.
You got the devil on you.
You got the devil on you. Seek counsel and apply counsel. Read verse 33.
Verse 33. Their blood shall therefore return upon the head of Joab and upon the head of his seed forever. But upon David and upon his seed and upon his house and upon his throne shall there be peace forever from the Lord.
Right. So that blood is not going to be on the house of David. It's going to be on Abner. All right. Read verse 34. Let's see the conclusion of this matter.
So Benaiah, the son of Joadiah, went up and fell upon him and slew him, and he was buried in his own house in the wilderness.
So Joab was ultimately put to death because of his own self-willed spirit. All right. We got to be mindful, Israel, of a self-willed spirit. We can't allow it to take us to this point. We got to check ourselves, examine. in my actions, am I moving in a self-will spirit? And if you are, hate that thing.
That's right.
Do everything in your power not to move in a self-willed spirit. All right. Let's jump to Sirach. Oh, I'm sorry, not Sirach. First Maccabees, chapter 5 and verse 9. All right. We're going to read about more of our forefathers who were moving in a self-willed spirit. And this one, they had a little bit of vainglory upon them. Read that.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 5 and verse 9.
Let's go.
Then the heathen that were at Gilead assembled themselves together against the Israelites that were in the quarters to destroy them. But they fled to the fortress of Dathimah.
Right. So the heathen are now coming against us. Where we at? We in the times of our forefathers, the Maccabees. All right. And we're reading another scenario of where our forefathers were given instruction, right? And we're going to see what they do. Continue reading, verse 10.
Verse 10. And sent letters unto Judah and his brethren. The heathen that are round about us are assembled together against us to destroy us.
Come on.
And they are preparing to come and take the fortress whereunto we are fled. Timotheus being captain of their host.
So the heathen are coming against us. They ready to slay us. They ready to take the areas where we are, where we dwell. Read on.
Come now, therefore, and deliver us from their hands, for many of us are slain. Yea, all our brethren that were in the places of Tobi are put to death, their wives and their children also they have carried away captives and borne away their stuff, and they are destroyed there about 1,000 men.
So our brothers were already slain. They were already put to death, about 1,000 of them, right? So this news is coming to Judas, right? And now he's devising a strategy. How should we deal with this? Jump down to verse 16 for time's sake.
Verse 16. Now when Judas and the people heard these words, there assembled a great congregation together to consult what they should do for their brethren that were in trouble and assaulted of them.
So read here, and even in this time where our brothers are being put to death, they consulted. They got counsel. Hey, how should we handle this? What's the best way for us to go about this thing? We know we got to go and get the heathen. We know we can't leave our brothers out there alone. But guess what? Before we just move off our own understanding, before we move off our own mind, we're going to sit back. We're going to get some counsel first so we can be in order. We won't move in a self-willed spirit. Read verse 17.
Verse 17. Then said Judas unto Simon his brother, choose thee out men, and go deliver thy brethren that are in Galilee. For I and Jonathan, my brother, will go into the country of Gilead.
So Judas said, okay, this is what we're going to do. He's laying out the plan, right? Continue reading.
So he left Joseph, the son of Zacharias, and Azariah, captain of the people, with the remnant of the host in Judea to keep it.
Come on.
Unto whom he gave commandment, saying, take ye the charge of this people, and see that ye make not war against the heathen until the time that we come again.
All right. So look, he left Joseph and Azariah in the land to watch the people, right? And he gave them strict orders. Look, y'all got a great charge. Watch over the people here and don't make war with the heathen. But let's see what our forefathers did. Let's jump over to verse 56. Let's jump over to 56. Let's find out what our forefathers Joseph and Azariah did.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 5 and verse 56.
Let's go.
Joseph, the son of Zacharias, and Azariah, captains of the garrison, heard of the valiant acts and warlike deeds which they have done.
So they had heard of all the valiant deeds that Judas and his brethren were doing, slaying the enemy, right? So if you read from we jump from verse 19 verse 20 on down, you'll see all of the valiant acts that our forefathers were doing. And so they were getting updates of what was going on. But remember, they were told not to make war with the heathen until Judas and his brethren return. So continue reading verse 57.
Verse 57. Wherefore they said, let us also get us a name.
So now they heard all those valiant acts and they're like, man, we got to get ourselves a name. Even though they were told to what? Not to do anything, to take care of the people. Read on.
And go fight against the heathen that are round about us.
They were explicitly told, right? They were explicitly counseled not to do this. But they moved in a self-willed spirit. They moved in that self-willed spirit because they wanted to get them a name. They wanted to be among the great. They wanted vain glory.
Right.
Continue reading, verse 58.
Verse 58. So when they had given charge unto the garrison that was with them, they went towards Jamna. Then came Gorgias and his men out of the city to fight against them. And so it was that Joseph and Azariah were put to flight and pursued unto the borders of Judea. And there were slain that day of the people of Israel about 2,000 men.
They got men killed because of their own self-willed vainglory actions. This is the importance of us not being self-willed. This is why we must beware of that self-willed spirit that can creep upon us. We want to get into action. We want to do this. We want to make the call. We want to do all what our leaders are doing. But we first must receive counsel and apply that counsel that we receive back. Verse 61.
Verse 61. Thus was there a great overthrow among the children of Israel, because they were not obedient unto Judas and his brethren, but thought to do some valiant act.
So they were not obedient and they got people killed. That is, look, who did God set up? He set Judas up. And Judas gave the order. But they wanted to do their own thing and they got people killed. That lets you know, look, the Lord will set us up leaders and we must obey our leaders. We can't think that we know more than our leaders. That's going to destroy congregations. That's going to destroy brothers and sisters. All right. So we got to be aware of that self-willed spirit. All right. Let's jump to 3 John verse 9. Let's jump to 3 John verse 9. We're going to get one more example of one of our forefathers who moved in a self-willed spirit. Read that.
This is the book of 3 John, verse 9. I wrote unto the church, but Diotrephes, who loved to have the preeminence among them, received us not.
So this brother Diotrephes loved the preeminence, loved the vain glory. He wouldn't even receive Paul or the apostles, right? He wouldn't receive the apostles into the church. This is, I'm sorry, I said Paul, but this is John. The apostle John was writing unto him, but he would not receive them. Even though what you saw before, we read in Titus, they were setting brothers up to keep the order in the churches. But this brother had that vainglory, that self-will spirit who wanted to be the man. He wanted to have that preeminent. He was presumptuous. All right. Presumptuous. Read on.
Verse 10. Wherefore, if I come, I will remember his deeds which he doeth, prating against us with malicious words.
Despising government. Read on.
And not content therewith, neither doeth he himself receive the brethren, and forbiddeth them that would, and casteth them out of the church.
Won't even allow those, the congregation to have honor towards the leadership. If he saw that they had honor towards the leadership, he put them out the church. This is a wicked brother who will not take counsel. He moves with his own will. He wants vain glory. He wants the preeminence over everything. All right. And it's sad to say, but here in IUIC, we had brothers like that who locked the doors of the church, wouldn't let leadership in because it was his thing. Now, what is that brother doing? Now, what is the brother doing? On his couch, scratching, not doing nothing. You don't hear his name. But IUIC is on the rise. We doing the things that the Lord has commanded us to go throughout the world to wake up his chosen people. All right? We can't move in that self-will spirit, or we going to be the ones sitting on the couch. We're going to be ones sitting in the coffin, dead. All right? We got to make sure that we always apply God's word. From there, let's get Galatians chapter 5 and verse 25. We got to come out of our own mind, lay that thing aside and apply the commandments. Read that.
This is the book of Galatians, chapter 5 and verse 25.
Let's go.
If we live in the spirit, let us also walk in the spirit.
If we say we in the spirit, let's walk in the spirit. Let our actions be in the spirit. All
That's
right?
right.
Read on.
Let us not be desirous of vainglory,
Come on.
provoking one another, envying one another.
So we can't walk with that vain, glorious spirit, that self-willed spirit. All right? From there, let's get Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 17. We almost done.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 17.
Let's go.
Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy, and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you.
So we got to make sure that we obey our leadership. All right. They're watching for our souls. There's none of our leadership are set up above us saying, you know what? I want to destroy this brother or this sister. I don't want them to get better. I don't want them to get the king. That's not our leadership. Not here in IUIC. Our leadership is raising up leaders. All right. We're raising up leaders. We want brothers and sisters to do well. That's why we provide counsel. But you got to seek it out. Seek out that counsel. Don't be self-willed. They're watching for our souls. All right. From there, let's get 1 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 64.
This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 64.
Let's go.
Wherefore, ye my sons, be valiant, and show yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for by it shall ye obtain glory.
Read on.
And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel. Give ear unto him always. He shall be a father unto you.
So this is our forefather Mattathias, the father of the Maccabean brothers, right? He's giving them instruction, and he's telling them exactly what they should do. Continue reading.
Verse 66. As for Judas Maccabeus, he has been mighty and strong, even from his youth up. Let him be your captain, and fight the battle of the people.
Come on.
Take also unto you all those that observe the law, and avenge ye the wrong of your people.
So this is our forefather setting up order, letting us know that we must follow these things, right? He said, for Simon, he is your counselor. Take heed. It's all throughout the scriptures. Our forefathers sought counsel, provided counsel, so that way the people can be taken care of. All right. From there, let's get 1 John chapter 5 and verse, not 1 John, John chapter 5 and verse 16. John chapter 5, verse 16.
This is the book of John, chapter 5 and verse 16.
Let's go.
And therefore did the Jews persecute Jesus and sought to slay him, because he had done these things on the Sabbath day.
Come on.
But Jesus answered them, my Father worketh hitherto, and I work.
So Christ saying, I do what my Father tells me to do. Continue reading.
Therefore the Jews sought the more to kill him, because he not only had broken the Sabbath, but said also that God was his Father, making himself equal with God.
So they had rage in their eyes. They couldn't really receive what Christ was really saying. Let's see what Christ responded.
Then answered Jesus and said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, the Son can do nothing of himself, but what he see the Father do. For what things soever he doeth, these also doeth the Son likewise.
So Christ is following after the Father. All right. Christ didn't even do his own will. And he could heal people. He could raise people back from the dead. He could do anything. But he said, not so. I follow my Father. All right. He followed counsel. He didn't move in a self-willed spirit. Read verse 30.
Verse 30. I can of my own self do nothing.
Christ said, I can't do my own thing. Read.
As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just, because I seeketh not my own will,
Christ is not self-willed.
but the will of the Father which hath sent me.
Christ is following the Father. Christ is doing the things the Father told him to do. All right. So if Christ is not moving self-willed, not doing his own thing, why should we?
Message.
Why should we? We got to beware of that self-willed spirit, because it can creep up before you even know it.
Right.
From there, let's get Colossians chapter 2 and verse 5.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 5.
Let's go.
For though I be absent in the flesh, yet am I with you in the spirit, joying and beholding your order and the steadfastness of your faith in Christ.
So even though the leadership may not be right there with you, they're still beholding your order. We got to stay in order, Israel. We got to make sure that we're not doing our own thing. We got to make sure that we are applying counsel, seeking out counsel, making sure that before we make a decision, we're seeking it out from our leadership first. That way we can understand and make sure that we are moving in the right path. All right. Last scripture. Let's get Philippians chapter 2 and verse 2. We always quote this. We say, oh, Philippians 2 and 2. But a self-willed brother ain't moving Philippians 2 and 2. Read that.
This is the book of Philippians, chapter 2 and verse 2.
Let's go.
Fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind.
It is joy when we move in the same spirit. We like-minded, moving under one accord. All right? That's joyfulness. Continue reading.
Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves.
We can't have that vainglorious spirit on us.
Bring it out.
We got to humble ourselves. All right? We got to humble ourselves. Being in the same mind, esteeming others. All right? Esteeming others better than ourselves. Read on.
Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others.
We can't look on, hey, this is the way I do it. No, because the way I do it may impact all the other brethren, all the other, the wives, the women, the children. My actions can impact them because I'm moving in a self-willed spirit. I could get somebody killed out here. Read on.
Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus.
Let this mind be in you. Christ didn't move in a self-willed spirit. Neither should you. So I pray, Lord's will, you got something from the class today. All right. Make sure you subscribe to IUIC Minneapolis on all of our social media platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Let's help us get these subscribers up, because our people need to hear this word. We need to make sure you like, subscribe, and like, share, and comment on our videos that come out, so more of our people can see this information. All right. Also, make sure you subscribe or donate. Where we at? We right here. Right there. Make sure you donate to the Booster Club. We are going out to teach to the four corners of the earth, and we ain't stopping till Christ comes back. But we need your help. Help us out, all right? So with that, Israel, I pray, Lord's will, you got something. With that, we say shalom, Most High in Christ bless.
Prophesying while we multiplying, got these heathens in these nations fully shook. God, I'm really trying to figure out how the hell we let them do it with a book. Now I'm about to go beast mode. Teach your people on the intro. Live the Bible, that's the true survivor.